California. And as has become a routine on Friday mornings, if anything is routine anymore, we will be visiting with Imperial County Chief Executive Officer Tony Rahotis, and with him also we'll be visiting with Marcella Piedra, and she is the city manager for the city of El Centro. Okay, we have Tony Rahotis and Marcella Piedra on the phone with us this morning. Let's say good morning.
Good morning, Carol.
It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. This is what, week 472 of the self-isolation?
473.
Yeah, but who's counting, right?
I think we are.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about what is happening, and part of what is happening is the Imperial County Public Health Department has the ability to do more testing, right?
That's correct. So this week, with the help of the state, we secured OptiServe. OptiServe is now conducting tests, COVID tests at the Imperial County Fairgrounds, and I believe they were in operation. I know that they were operation by Tuesday.
Okay, and one of the things that we have noticed as we track numbers is there's going to be a lot more testing. I believe there were 270 plus test results that came out as of last night, additional in a 24-hour period. And with that, you're going to see more cases that are that show up, right?
That's correct. So you're going to see total tested increase, and you're going to see, of course, positives that are going to increase as well with that, because we're going to have the larger testing capability. I think right now, based on the demand, they can do at least, I think I want to say it's 136 tests a day. And if they do meet that demand, they can open up an additional line of testing to occur based on the demand so that we can continue doing testing without a holdup in the system.
And of course, the county health department now has the ability for in-house testing, as well as the testing that's at the Plaza de la Cultura building at the fairgrounds. And that means you don't have to wait a week for results.
That's correct. I was on a state call last night, and based on the state initiative of pushing this forward, a lot of the rural counties are being assisted with this program, so it's a great asset. And the results should be moving forward. The testing capacity is greatly increased, and we're happy to be able to track additional people. Okay, and
Marcella Piedra, the city manager, City of El Centro, is with us this morning as well. And Marcella, last week, City Council announced we're going to open up, and then kind of backed up a little bit after meeting with the county. What direction are we heading in now?
So basically, thank you, Carol. So we have been working with the county. As a matter of fact, today we're going to have a joint press conference with not only the city of El Centro being present there, but also the other cities. We know that our business community is very much interested in opening up, and I'm sure that all of our neighboring cities are experiencing that. We realize that how difficult it is. This pandemic has really impacted, obviously our social lives, our economic lives. So, we're very, very happy that we're working with the county in opening up our economy. We're very excited about, obviously, what the governor announced yesterday about, slowly opening up. And that's a great approach, because we realize that, the most important thing in the community is public health.
Okay. Now, let me go in that same direction. One of the things that the governor has said, okay, you can open up, for instance, a clothing store for curbside delivery, and perhaps with a Macy's or a Dillard's that has the ability for a huge website presence and can do that, they may be able to pull that off. But mom and pop on the street, the foundation of the economy, not just here in Imperial Valley, but everywhere, they're going to have issues with this. Do you see any light for them to be able to adjust?
I think that definitely there is light, Carol. That's one of the things that, in coordination with the county and, of course, the city, at least I'm speaking for the city of El Centro, we realized that a lot of our smaller businesses, as you pointed out, maybe, some of the support from a corporate, arm is not there. And so one of the things that we really, really want to make sure that we do is, make ourselves available as city staff to assist those and going into maybe perhaps physically into those businesses and really helping them out. There's a lot of groups, too, that are working with the business community, of course, the local chambers of commerce. Then we have a task force that has formed to assist with business recovery. So, we're all working, jointly together to be able to assist these businesses that we realize perhaps need hand-holding. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. I think that's the reason why we really want to get our businesses open, because we want to see them succeed as well and not fall behind, as we continue dealing with this.
Carol, I think a big portion of that, and I don't know if you watched the governor's press conference yesterday, and it talked about how important it was to make sure we meet the directives of what needs to move forward. So as we move forward with our roadmap to recovery plan, that's where the balancing act happens, and we've reached out to the cities for their input on that. And the faster we can be within those guidelines, the faster we can move forward through phase 2. And I think that's what everybody wants to know, everybody wants to talk about. When can we get to the latter part of phase 2? And that's all based on meeting the guidelines of what was set forth. So we are looking at all avenues of that. Marcella brought up, businesses. I think we all want to see businesses open up as soon as possible, all businesses. But we just have to make sure we're within the guidelines of the plan and the governor's directive. And she brought up the Economic Recovery Task Force. It's part of a group. We met with the key person for that group yesterday with all the city managers and myself, because we actually have them drafting up documents to help the business community. Because there's a lot, just to open up a business community, there's going to be demands placed on a business that they never had before. So we're really working on the backbone, the directive, to be able to assist them, point them in the right direction of the supplies that they need, point them into the direction of financial assistance or anything that we might be able to help to offer, but also have a checklist and be able to hand it to them and say, hey, these are going to be the expectations. This is what we'll be looking for when you do reopen, so that no one's caught off by surprise.
Okay, now let's take a look at government as a business, and small businesses, mom and pops, are closed, not doing business. A lot of other businesses have, operating with a skeleton crew and, with massive layoffs, furloughs, and terminations. How has that affected the workforce at the county and at the city? Have you looked at, with significantly decreased revenues, layoffs, furloughs, what direction is the city and the county taking in that area?
So I'll speak first. I was on a conference call last night with the California Southern Association of Counties, and a lot of board members and a lot of CEOs are asking the same question. I think it was mentioned last night the May revise is coming out, and California is expecting a $54 billion with a B deficit and being projected. So with looking at that, of course, our county budget is due here in the next 50-something days.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah, so that's something we have to look at. And I think we all know that. You and I had this discussion maybe last week or the week before, that we do know that sales taxes are definitely going to be down, not just for the county, but the cities as well. And that's extremely why we need to get businesses open as soon as possible as well, but do so with the safety of the community. But I do think, there will be adjustments that have to be made. I'm hearing from the state. The state's actually discussing with employees adjustments that they're making as well right now. we are going to have a deficit that are going to have to be adjusted for. The one good thing I mentioned this is our property taxes, which we rely heavily on for the county budget, are within line of exactly where they should be, and actually I believe they're maybe 0.5% over what we expected last year. So that was good news for us. But going into the future, we're definitely going to have to look at strategies to make changes.
So, Carroll, with respect to the city of El Centro, as Tony pointed out, I mean, at the state level, we're going to see obviously some major deficits, and obviously for cities, the California League of Cities recently did a survey of all California cities, and basically, I mean, we anticipate a $7 billion deficit just statewide, which really impacts local communities. There's a lot of cities throughout. Obviously, we're in our budget preparation at this particular point in time as well. And so we have to consider basically all options because, we in particular are going to be facing a $3 million reduction in our general fund balance. And so, for a city of our size and with the demands that we have, it does impact the community. And I think the last thing we want is to, have any kind of negative impact, obviously, foremost to the community and then to our employees, because ultimately they're the ones that provide the service to the community. So, we're going to see all options that we have and work in particular with our employees to hopefully come to some options that, again, don't impact severely the manner in which we provide services to the community.
Okay. And the city of El Centro, I know you have been working very, very closely with Dr. Edward and the administration at El Centro Regional Medical Center. I know we perhaps should ask Dr. Edward this, but the El Centro Regional Medical Center is a part of the city of El Centro. How are things there? Dr. Edward, and as you said, this probably is a question for him, but we've had the privilege of being able to work with him very closely with this particular issue, as it is a public health issue. And, as he has shared and continues sharing even during the special council meetings that we've had related to COVID, is, the hospital is ready. They are prepared. Their healthcare professionals over there are doing an amazing job dealing with this, pandemic. As you pointed out earlier, I mean, we are, so many days into this, and it gets draining. And so I really admire the fact that, the group there is still, very, very much supporting and doing the job, obviously, that they're doing with our community. So, again, they're ready. We are ready, even despite modifications that we've had with our workforce. We continue providing services, just like the county is. Okay. Did we miss anything? Carol, I just want to say something and a big shout out, and I think it's very timely. This Sunday, we start celebrating our National Police Week, and I just want to say to all of our police departments throughout the Imperial Valley and throughout that we thank them for their service. We're in a very critical time, obviously, them as first responders, along with our fire personnel and any first responder. We really thank them for their service. So just a big shout out to our police departments throughout the valley. Okay.
And Carol, the other thing I have is it's Mother's Day weekend. So I want to wish all the mothers, including Marcella, a happy Mother's Day. It's extremely important to remember moms. I hope my mom's listening, and I get a little happiness from her hearing me say Happy Mother's Day. But I truly want to wish everybody a Happy Mother's Day. It's not going to be the same. Obviously, you can't go see your mom or have large gatherings, and we want to remind everybody that that's truly important to still maintain social distancing and self-isolation, not just for your mom's health, but for your health as well. But I just want to wish all the moms Happy Mother's Day.
And to those that are protesting the loss of the freedom by having to wear a facial covering, it's not your freedom I'm worried about, Bud. It's the person that you're breathing on that concerns me, right?
Great point.
Okay. Mr. Rojotas, Ms. Piedra, we appreciate the visit, and we'll do it again next week.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks, Bob. Take care.
The Imperial Valley's best oldies on the radio.
So come